MGK gets canceled over a razor blade? T-Pain can sing? Paramore is not breaking up? Today on the Emo Social Club, we talk about these hot topics. So don't touch that dial and let's talk music news. All right, we're going to jump into a little bit of music news that happened over the last week. Talk about some stories that maybe you missed, stories that maybe you heard about. Give you some news.
Yeah, we'll give you our takes too on it, lightly, and then you can have your own takes.
The news and the takes. Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, Jesus. We're starting off hot and right off the bat.
Machine Gun Kelly released a signature guitar that is shaped like a razor blade, and the internet does not like that he released a guitar that looks like a razor blade. He released a bunch of pop punk records, pop punk songs, pop punk stuff. 2 pop punk records, and it looks like he's no longer doing that. It looks like he's going back to being a rapper now.
I mean,
a rap artist.
He played some holiday shows in Ohio, which is his home state, and he previewed a song that had Fifi Dobson as a sample on it, which is more canonically pop punk emo in a way because of the sound of it. But everything that we heard from the video, somebody took who was there. It was all rapping. I'm like, it's over. We're done.
He's been doing like rap songs and singles and some freestyle stuff on his YouTube channel recently. So I mean, it looks like he's moving out of it. But this razor blade guitar is clearly, as he has even said on Twitter, it's influenced by Tickets to My Downfall. It was the lyrics of the title track, literally title track. That's the name of the song. I think he's just using this as, a return to that song and a return to that era and saying, oh, I'm using this as like the iconography of that moment in my life. A lot of people have been talking about how it's got to be like just an awful guitar. This guitar is with Schecter.
Yes.
That is the company that is producing it. Originally, it was going for $21.69.
And now suddenly it has come down to the low price of $14.99.
Yeah, that's $1,000, not $14.99.
$1,499.
And there are a couple other guitars that are black and pink bodies, but
like they're normal looking. They're normal guitars.
But the razor blade one is the one that got all the attention.
Yeah.
The obvious connotation that people thought was this is glorifying cutting, and especially in like the emo and pop punk scene, that is an issue with self-harm, and glorifying that with a guitar. Here's my take on this. Yes, you're right in that a razor blade does do that. Razor blades are used for many things. So, I mean, he is not necessarily describing it as only that, but I do understand where everybody saw it and said, this is the connotation about this thing. I would say it's probably just going to be a crappy guitar, and it's going to be something that you would probably just have if you were like a really big MGK fan. They are out there. For anybody who says like he switched genres to pop punk to make money, like he was big as a hip hop artist, so you can't deny like he had record sales. He has well known in that scene. Yes,
he has stands.
Yeah. There's a lot for MGK, so I mean, there's definitely people that are going to be interested in getting this guitar. I really just stand on like, make it a good guitar then. If you're going to charge so much for this guitar,
and you're going to make a big statement like that,
like at least make it like a really good guitar and put like good pieces in it so that it's worth the money that you're spending on it. But I think that MGK is doing this for attention. Like, I think it's just marketing for his general pop punk records and all that stuff. So I'm not reading too much into this. I think that generally people just have a bad, or they're just kind of, I don't like MGK, and so they're using this as another reason not to like him. That to me is just the only way that it reads.
I will also point out that way back in the days, a lot of the bands we love and still listen to also use that type of imagery.
Hawthorne Heights.
A lot too, yeah. Hawthorne Heights, the song that we all scream sing. I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad either way. It's a way that people have written things to cope, to reflect on what happened, to see where they are now than where they were before. In MGK's case, I saw that he tweeted out about it, and he's just said, no one understands my art, and that's what makes me upset. This is my reasoning behind it. And it's like, okay, I get it. But I think it is a way for him and his team to still milk that pop punk like scene that he was in and then just kind of like stepped out of really quickly.
Yep.
And to just get some more revenue and also just get lip service about MGK again, because we haven't heard a lot about him lately. So it's the new year. Maybe that means he has new music or an album coming out.
Anyway, if you're a guitarist, probably don't play the MGK guitar.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of people recognizing that Teddy Payne, can sing.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I feel like he's been in the game for so long and most.
Okay, so this is wild because he did a cover of War Pigs by Black Sabbath. He also did a song, Tennessee Whiskey. There's a bunch of covers that have come out and have been posted. There are clips going around.
They did it for this specific special called On Top of the Covers. And I feel like everyone was just shocked because he was doing a lot more vintage rock, like big dad rock.
Yeah.
And he did the biggest dad rock anthem of all, Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yep.
And I feel like when you hear that and then you hear him do all these other more, not like hard vocals, but very distinct. And you see him absolutely just annihilate.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the? It's like effortless for him too.
He is an actually super talented artist. I think I am personally surprised because everyone's finding it out now. And I feel like I've known about this for a minute. I've been a T-Pain fan for a long time. I am unfazed by the fact that T-Pain is destroying these covers. But it's getting the attention of other people because Ozzy Osbourne, the singer of Black Sabbath, tweeted about how this is the best cover he's ever heard. Now, Ozzy is doing okay.
Ozzy Osbourne is there for the time right now. Good, so keep going, King.
We can make assumptions about how many covers he's heard and whether it's the best of all covers. It is insanely good. War Pigs is a cover a lot more bands should do, even though it's like an 8-minute song. It's way too long.
I think that's why people don't do it.
The Dresden Dolls did it at Riot Fest.
Jesus.
On piano and drums. They've done that before,
but that makes sense for them.
They've played that many. Like, there's live recordings of them doing that
mean, that's almost like when Fall Out Boy played Crazy Train when we saw him at Wrigley Field.
It's almost like that, but it's way better than them playing Weed and Start the Fire at all. I would love to put T-Pain's version of Don't Stop Believing against Fall Out Boy's version of it. And I guarantee that I would rather hear T-Pain doing it.
I would rather hear nobody doing Don't Stop Believing, honestly.
Including Journey. Anyway, we hope that T-Pain seems to be like teasing this for a tour that he might be going out this summer. So I hope so because
Brian will be front and center.
Love T-Pain. I hope he's out this summer. I hope he's playing some of these covers. I think it's going to be awesome.
You know, the Runaways, the band that like Joan Jett came from and everything. So,
I mean, they haven't been in the news as much as Joan Jett has been since she was in the band.
Correct. Yes. But so one of the founding members, Sherry Curry, went on Twitter and just decided to be surprisingly transphobic and has been on that.
She was looking at a photo of David Bowie and like the androgyny of the 70s, which that was a style, especially in rock and like
absolutely.
And a lot of music was androgyny and acting. You know, like we're in between.
I mean,
there's no gender.
Dolls,
there's all
Blondie,
this. Yeah.
They were obviously the pinnacles of like alternative pop, rock, and punk during that time. And it was very new and jolting, but it became a little bit more mainstream because of Bowie.
We look back, we look at like anything that David Bowie and did during like Ziggy Stardust, and it's like, yeah, this is it. He's supposed to be an alien, but also like clearly there is playing with gender and how gender is a construct and that it doesn't mean anything and all this.
There was a bunch of other things that came into it too about talking about pronouns and the variety of them that are out there now. It's like, dude, come on.
If David Bowie was around,
David Bowie would not stand for this shit.
David Bowie would not stand for this. David Bowie did this. David Bowie stood on business, especially in the 70s. He was very progressive for someone who played with gender and was very prominent on discussions of race and women and was very, very outwardly supportive of these marginalized communities. And it's funny that these artists that like are from the 70s and 80s end up running with this right-wing conversations now, like anti-trans, anti-gay.
She also did say today she is anti-COVID vaccine.
Of course.
Other vaccines sounds like they're okay though. How has she specified that it was specifically the COVID vaccine?
But like thinking of like Johnny Rotten too, John Lydon, and John Lydon has been like
pro-Trump.
No, actually,
so Trump supporter.
Actually, the counterculture is the right, and Republicans are counterculture. It's like, first of all, you're British, So
like you don't have any skin in this game right now, homie.
So when you were saying God Save the Queen, were you like, actually though, like the Queen, like kind of cool, kind of tight,
like kind of chill now, like Elizabeth, she dead.
Yeah.
We got Charles in here now.
John Lydon being like, oh, I missed the Queen. She was my favorite. I would kiss her on the cheek if I could. I miss her so fucking much.
But something also she did tweet a couple days ago about what she had said about folks who are trans and pronouns. She says, quote, to be clear, I support all, in caps, people. Be who you want to be, but hands off, in all caps, our kids. No GI or sex taught to babies. It is not, in all caps, normal to include K through 4 as the years to explore sexuality. Let parents, caps, parent, caps, not the caps, school's job. Give them simplicity, not this capitalized madness academia has created.
We don't generally get into these conversations on the podcast when we talk about the interviews, but generally, trans people are real people. And this shit is not happening. It is a very small percentage of this, and there is a large scale brainwashing campaign to say to these people that believe that this is a massive concern. Hey, Sherry Curie, get well soon. Get better. And this is our final story. Paramore not breaking up.
Absolutely not.
They've made a tease. They are teasing a Talking Heads cover in partnership with A24.
It was so crazy. I remember I saw it really quickly and it said A24. So I thought people were saying like, oh, the music video is A24 coded, but it's in a collaboration with them because they're doing a restoration of Stop Making Sense, which is a concert film by the Talking Heads. I will say I don't listen to the Talking Heads like that, but I did see David Byrne and his solo project at Shaky Knees. And they had the whole gray suits thing.
Yep.
No socks, no shoes. They're barefoot on stage. One of the best performances I have ever seen in my life.
Talking Heads is a legendary band. I won't say that I'm like the hugest fan either. I do like the songs Burning Down the House, Once in a Lifetime. There's some good tracks by Talking Heads, and they've influenced a lot of artists that are in our emo scene, Paramore included. So I think it's exciting that they're doing this. Paramore deleted all of their socials.
Yeah.
They removed everything. They dropped out of a couple festival appearances. And so I do think that it is a nice thing that they've announced this.
Well,
if just to say we are doing something, we're not breaking up.
And like analysis that came from that was like, hey, they just did this is why. Why would they just disappear and like quit? Here's the thing. They are now a free agent. They are no longer tied to their 20-year record contract.
Yes, with Atlantic, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe it was. And you want to know what's crazy? They signed like a 14-year-old girl and her homies.
We're not talking about
to
that.
a 20-year contract.
They were obviously signed to Fuel By. There was in partnership. They got on Atlantic. It's a whole thing. But I do think it was strange that they deleted all their social media just because they were out of their record contract. People were saying that's the reason. I'm like, yeah, they don't make you do that.
Well, that's that usually in like pop music, that's when a new cycle starts. So it could definitely mean that they are doing something new. I saw some rumors, and I don't know how valid this is, about them trying to pull a Taylor Swift and re-record All We Know Is Falling. But I really haven't seen anything about it. And I'm like, I don't feel like that would be the case. And it would be way bigger of a deal if it was, and probably more publicly out there to find information about.
It's strange, but I think that this is a good thank you, Paramore, for saying something and doing something so that we don't feel like
you're leaving again.
Dude, I just feel like if Paramore says we're actually breaking up, we're done, like that's going to be hard to take.
Yeah, there's like certain, and even if they did come back in 10 years or something, I don't know. I would still be absolutely devastated.
Paramore can take their time. Do whatever you want. You're Paramore. You're a beautiful band. You're one of the greatest bands of all time. You can do whatever you want. So just take your time and do it. But please don't break up.
Please don't.
Please don't break up, Paramore.
Just stay psych.
Please. Anyway, we're looking forward to the Talking Heads. record. We don't know who else is on it. It's only Paramore that's announced that they're doing a song on it, but they know it's going to be
tracks.
Yeah.
So there's going to be at least 15 other bands.
Yeah, and we'll find out. But looking forward to hearing the record and hearing more from Paramore on this. And yeah, good job, Paramore. You did it. You didn't break my heart this time.
This time.
Thanks for checking out this music news video. Subscribe for more so you don't miss any major music news.
Gently press the like button if you liked it. And check out our other vids in the meantime, and we'll see you next week.